Hello everyone and welcome to Just Academy. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the variable switch in Katana. So variable switches is one of the most powerful concepts in Katana. So basically what it does is, so let's say I have a different geometries or different cameras or I have different things here. So I want to select one item at a time. Let's say, let's consider this as a different animation caches for different shots, and I want to select the corresponding animation cache according to certain input or certain variable value that we are giving. So basically, let's first see how switches are working, and then let's explain how variable switch working. So basically, I'm just going to create a switch here, and you can see here. So I'm going to create three different ports here. So you can click this arrow icon to create multiple ports in order to delete anything. So you can easily delete here. So basically, I'm just going to connect uh, all these nodes one by one. I have three different geometries here. So the first one is gnome, you can see here, and the second one is pony, and the third one is teapot. So I connected to a switch node, and it automatically select the pony. So because the input value is 0 at this moment, so you can see different uh, input here. So values. So basically 0 is no. So if I select 1 here, it select pony, and if I select 2 here, it select teapot. So basically the concept is I want to create a different, I want to render different geometries on different render nodes. So let's say I have a three different shots for three different render nodes for three different shots, and I want to select. So whenever I want to render the first one, first render, I want to select the gnome. So and whenever I want to render this, I want to choose the uh, pony. So in order to do that, you have to always go for switch node and select your inputs, and then you have to do the render. So this is a let's say if we have hundreds of shots and hundreds of animation caches, so this will become a very tedious process. So in order to avoid the manual things, so we can use the variable switch. So yeah, let's see how variable switch works in action. So basically I'm just going to create a variable switch node. Yeah, so here is the variable switch node. So you can see here I'm just going to create three different ports here, the same way that created in switch node. And it's, yeah, so now we have connected all three inputs to the our variable switch here. Now the basic concept of variable switch is you need to given a name to the variable. So basically it creates a variable in our stream, and you can assign the values here. So basically now you need to assign a variable name. So you can assign any value here as a name. So but make sure it makes sense at a short level or in the context of where you're working. So at this moment I'm just giving a name called test, and it is a case sensitive. So make sure at this moment in order to avoid all those confusions, I'm just keeping everything in small. So and the next thing is you need to assign values here. So basically these values are predefined. So these values are already corresponded to our variable, and we are going to select our variables later. So yeah, I'm just going to assign a name or gnome here. So basically you can assign string or numbers or whatever is fine. So let's say in this case I'm just going to assign 2 here, and then maybe 3 here. Yeah, let's see. Uh, Now it automatically selects the first input. So yeah, in order to see in the node graph, you can enable something. So you have to edit and go to the preference node, preference, and it will bring you this tab, and you can enable this dim non-contributing nodes here. Now you can see here, the moment that I enable this, these two nodes are dimmed out because these things are not contributing to our scene. So that's why. Yeah, let's say um, the the way we can select our variables is you need to use the variable set node. So I'm just going to connect it here, and now I'm going to double click, and now you can see here by default it chooses the node because it always selected the first input. Now I'm going to call the name here. Name of our variable is test, and we need to set the value here. So basically when you set node, it also shows the node, and if you haven't selected anything here, it also select the node. And now I'm going to select the second input. Now you can see here the second is pony, so the second input, and it select the second input. So now let's say instead of using second, I'm just going to rename this to pony. Now it automatically reset to the first input because we don't have anything called to assign to the variable. So now if I select pony here, it chooses the pony. So, and the same way I'm going to rename this to teapot. Now if I have to choose the teapot, we need to type in teapot here. So yeah, so this is how we usually choose our different geometries using the variable switch. Let's say I'm just going to use different variable set node. I'm just going to copy this and paste it again, and then I'm just going to connect it here. And now what I want to do is I want to call node from the first output, and then pony in the second output. So now you can see here it's it reduces all those tedious process. Now if you view from your variable set this node, so it automatically chooses node, and when you view from here, it automatically chooses the pony. The same way it chooses teapot. So now it makes it makes sense, and it really help you in if you have hundreds of shots and you have hundreds of animation caches and hundreds of different cameras. So and if you want to create different lighting for different shots, so basically this is your switches. You can select and you can work on different shots at a time. Let's say if you want to work on first shot, and you can create a different gaffer 3 here. Sorry, so you can create a different gaffer 3 here, and you can just work on the first shot, so you don't have to go manually and choose everything all the time again and again. So yeah, let's see how these things work in shot level. And the way it works is I have a simple scene here. Now if you look at this, I have a spaceship, and let's expand everything to see. So I have a spaceship. This one is a static one, and I have a different cameras here. So basically all the cameras are in same name. So, and I have connected a variable switch, and I I assign the name called camera to the variable in order to select different cameras here. And yeah, let's see how everything works here. And yeah, so let's first see how this works. And yeah, let's go to the variable set. Yeah, so basically this is the first switch. This is for the first shot, and I have a different shots as well. So now if I view from here, and if I enable this, I have a different camera as well. So if I scrub through the timeline, it has animation as well, and I have another shot as well. So you can see here I have this thing has a different animation. So I'm going to play with all 3 shots, and yeah, I'm going to select the render still, render output node here. So basically you have the render cam here, and this is a front cam. So at this moment I'm just have a variable set here. So now you can see here the variable name is camera, and the variable value is perspective, but it's disabled. So I'm just going to disable the next one, which is a front camera. So I'm just going to disable this as well. So at this moment we have only the top. So in order to avoid this, you can disable this and enable the front. So it automatically select the front camera. So yeah, you can create a different branch for this, but I just created this intentionally in order to see how the order of variables itself work. So basically, it works from top to bottom, and then bottom to top, and finally select whatever node that are top. So that will be the final variable set. So basically, um, I'm just going to enable all three nodes. Now you can see here. So technically, it should select the bottom one, which is top, but it doesn't select the top one. I mean the bottom one. The top view, because it always choose the one that is on the top. Let's say I'm just going to disable this here, disconnect this here, and I'm going to connect the front or the top. So now you can see here, it selects the front view, because whatever that is on the top, that will win. So in this case, I'm just going to disable the front and disable the top, and I'm going to use just the perspective. So now in this case, we have the still, uh, the static spaceship. So you can render the static spaceship here. I'm just going to start the live render. And yeah, now you can see here. Also, I'm just going to enable the live render updates to see everything here. So the same way, you always, in this case, I need to, make sure all our camera names are same, so that it automatically chooses in the render settings. So yeah, the same way, I'm just going to, if you want, you can enable the front view. Basically, you can use this to look at the shot, and then, look at the asset, and then we can go for, oops, and then we can go for the render shot one. So in this case, I'm just going to start another live render. So now you can see here, it already, get the variable switch that we connected here. So you can see here, so this is the shot, and we have different, inputs connected to here, and I have assigned different shot names here. Let's say if we have hundreds of shots, so you can create a simple setup like this, and then you can reuse this as many times as you want. And the same way, I connected a different variable switch for, I'm again use the variable switch, and I'm again use the same variable name and all those things, and it still works fine here. So this is for lighting, and this one is for selecting the cache. So you can, use one variable switch, and you can, add all those gaffer trees here. But I intentionally did this to explain everything to you. So yeah, so in this case, I finally added the variable set, and I selected the shot one here. If you want, you can select the shot two here, and practically you need to restart the render. Yeah, so because the render camera name will be changed. So yeah, and I'm going to restart the render by control backspace, and you can see all the animations and everything works fine. So if you want to, tweak the light, so it affects only to this shot. So I'm just going to, tone down the exposure, or maybe you can change the time here same way. And I would like to maybe select a little bit of tint here, orange tint. And yeah, so the same way, if you want, you can go for the third shot, and we need to relaunch the render, and then oops, sorry, basically I started with the control backspace. It restart the previous node, so I'm just going to manually start the live render. Yeah, now you can see here, so everything is working fine, just fine, so you can use a different, you can see we are using the third shot here. So yeah, the variable switch is a really, really powerful one, so you can So if you are working in a production environment that uses Katana, so you most of the times we will use this variable switches in a different ways. We have the variable switch one, and we have variables, the graph state variable. So we are going to talk about the graph state variable in the next video. So that's it for this one. Yeah, and thanks for watching.